What can be achieved when you take an industrial engineer, a team of dedicated people who love the craft they're invested in, painstaking amounts of time, effort and hours into construction, machining and design? Well, you get this. Nope, it's not a MacBook Pro. The MEZAUDIO Elite. A $4,000 open back luxury headphone from Romania. Let's have a look, shall we? A special thank you goes out to MEMICables for sending this unit in for review. As usual, he doesn't ask us to say anything that we don't believe or sign any waivers or get any money or anything like that. So all thoughts are our own. And by our, I mean me. You pay your $4,000. This is in the upper tier flagship territory, just nipping at the heels of Sesvara's. Stealths reside here, LCD5 resides here. Those units will be coming in for review too. The Diana TC resides up there, which still trying to get hold of those for you guys for review. But be that as it may. Thank you, Mimic, I really do appreciate it. So you open this very, very MacBook Pro-like box, and I am completely invisible to you guys. So we put it like this. You get this lined foam. I mean, the presentation's already yowza. It's MEZAUDIO. I don't think anybody is surprised who is in this hobby. Setting this aside, we get this aluminium or aluminum case for you Americans. Mind the microphone. Let's throw that all the way there. We don't need that for now. We get this FBI-esque, spy-esque, incredible presentation case. I mean, to carry this across an airport or on holiday is very, very doable. I mean, blimey. In very much reminiscent of the Meze Empyreans we reviewed, blimey, a year back now. So we lift the lid and we are presented with this. Let me turn this around. Insert foam, compartments for the accessories such as the cable, let's set that aside here. Cards from MEZAUDIO and signed by Antonio Meze. Absolutely brilliant. And then most importantly, the reason why you're all here is these, the headphones. So let us dispense with this incredible carrying case. Sesvara, you need to learn something. We will put that aside here. We don't need that any longer. You guys know it's built like a tank. That case is very protective. So, this is what you pay your $4,000 for. Let's take a tour around this beautiful, well-constructed, well-designed unit. It looks like a work of art as we place it on the table like this. Hope it's visible to you guys. I'm going to spin it around just so that you can see. Oh my goodness. This is something that needs to be put into a museum to be gazed at. This is what we did in the 21st century. And taking a tour around the unit, we have carbon fiber headband in this arching theme. Absolutely beautiful. Underneath is a leather headband which is constructed and molded so that it can wrap around the head and yet flare out on the sides with a pattern pending flare mechanism design, spring loaded. The cups rotate 360 degrees so that you can lay them flat like so. This whole unit is absolutely divine. The adjustment mechanism of the Meze Elite is the same principle as the Meze Empyrean, where these rods go through this circular shape here and they move up and down without any friction, yet with stiffness so that you can adjust your headphones to the most perfect size for your head. Absolutely no noise. Listen, there's just nothing there. This is where that industrial designer methodology comes in. The cups rotate on these rods like so, 180 degrees back, 180 degrees forward with no creak. It's as if it's oiled. Taking a tour around the cup of the driver, these aluminium housings are milled from one block of aluminium, CNC machined carefully by hand. 20 hours goes into this product to give you this beautiful pattern on the driver housing. It's absolutely stunning. The most beautiful flagship headphone on the planet. I don't care if that's subjectivity talking. I can't think of another one unless it's the Verite Closed, which is a very different philosophy. Design, perfection. The comfort of these headphones is bar none. Maybe the Sesvaras can match it due to the fact that these tend to get a little warm at times due to these cups, which we will get onto in a minute. But for comfort, weight distribution, airiness, openness, and weight distribution on top of the head, I don't think any headphone can match these. Their build quality is the best in the industry. Their looks, subjectively, they're best in the industry. Verite over there is winking at me, so I've got them fighting inside my head at the moment. And ergonomics is the best in the industry. Simple as that. We have a mini XLR connection at the bottom of the cups. They're angled so they don't hit your shoulders, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. And these cups, if we place the headphones carefully on the table like so, come off like so. There are ferromagnets within the cups that hold the cups in place, and not only that, there's actual functionality behind this, which we'll get onto in the tech specs. This is absolutely ridiculous. And for pad changing, because as we forgot to take out of this enormous case here, we have a pair of Alcantara pads that we will place there right now. Placing that back there. Now, right, so Alcantara, twice as thick as the hybrids, which is leather wrapped around this Alcantara perforated pad. As you can see, compared to each other, it's half as thick. So for tuning, you can use those other pads that come with these headphones, which we will jump into in the sound section. Build quality. Also, these cups not only rotate backwards and forwards, they tilt on a spring mechanism like so as well to give you the most perfect fit. Okay, fantastic. Hardware, spectacular. $4,000 worth? Hell yes. Every single penny. 20 hours of CNC machining by professionals, checked at every point. Every part of this headphone is serviceable and replaceable. Of course, it's going to cost $4,000. Personal training, nutrition goes from £50 to £100 an hour. That's already £2,000 right there if we're doing some comparisons. That's half of the price tag of the headphones already in just the construction. So the cable that comes with this headphone is this OFC cable. This one is balanced 4-pin XLR, Nutrix connector type of thing. This looks really good. It's cloth. It's just nothing amazing. MEZAUdio. Whoa, this thing's long. Bloody hell. Mini XLRs, obviously. And a very, very, very long cable. All of these cloth type cables, to be honest with you, are very durable and they don't break, apart from maybe this bit. These Kevlar type of material for the V-split is possible that it could break. I mean, it could fray, but I doubt it. It's very nicely built, mini XLRs. But if you do have this beautiful headphone, I recommend their silver cable. Costs $500, but oh my freaking god, is it beautiful. Probably one of the, actually no, it is the best manufacturer cable I have ever come across. We don't have one here, obviously. We did have it with the Empyrean, so maybe check out that review down below after this review to see what that cable looks like. It's absolutely beautiful, but you do pay the premium. So the cable is good. It's nothing special. I don't think it's worthy of this headphone. This headphone is $4,000. They should have put that $500 cable with it as a gift to their fans, but they didn't. So there is that. Let's talk about the specifications of this headphone. This is a 32 ohm headphone at 101 dB sensitivity, so it's very, very easy to drive. And unlike most other easy to drive headphones, they're not very picky amplifier wise and DAC wise. I mean, you get better experience as you go up with gear, but they can literally work on anything. This morning, I was using the IFI Go Blue, if you can believe it. And last night, I was using the $10,000 system behind me, the Chord TG2 and the M Scaler. Obviously with different yielding results, but on the go with an IFI Go Blue, I was satisfied, definitely. So 32 ohms, 101 dB sensitivity. These drivers hit 3 Hz all the way to 112 kilohertz. I think due to the shape, they might have come down from some alien and they're trying to call home, because at those frequencies, even Psychoacoustics takes a walk outside and goes, nah, I'm out, bruv, I'm out. For the driver units of this unit, we have Runaro making a reappearance with their isodynamic hybrid array. This driver is constructed wholly new from the Empyrean. It's been in progress for the last 3 years. It's the MZ3 SE rather than the MZ3 of the previous model. Efficiency has been improved by a little bit, and sonically they have improved a great deal. Revisiting the old isodynamic hybrid array drivers, we have a dual voice coil system in this. We have a switchback system at the top, which concentrates on the lower frequencies. Akin to multi-driver speakers, each section of this trace is designed to concentrate on a specific part of the frequency response. So like we stated, the switchback up top deals with the bass frequencies. The spiral part of the trace on the lower part of the driver is designed to sit exactly over the ear canal. This is to omit discordances and problems with the higher frequencies, which are shortwave, compared to the lower frequencies, which are long wave, to enter the ear canal without distortion and to dissipate properly within the ear canal to give you that better 3D holographic imaging. MezeAudio states that they do this design with Runaro so that this level of performance can be achieved. But I don't know how much I honestly can agree with this. We have the Hi-Fi Sesvaros with one trace as far as I'm aware, and that doesn't have any issues in regards to imaging and layering and stuff. But it's an interesting design. This design is not used by, and is patented, so it's not used by anyone else. It's very, very intriguing. And I'll be honest, the imaging, which we will get onto later, is bar almost none in the industry. The imaging on MezeAudio is something to be heard. And the weird thing is, it's not picked up by everybody. A lot of people do not experience this, and the people that do experience this always share the same results. So I am intrigued. Please put in the comment section down below whether you pick up on this holographic, ridiculous, unique melody mist-like imaging, or you don't at all. The driver size is 102mm by 73mm, and there's a surface area of 465 that's actually being utilized. Then we have the use of neodymium magnets symmetrically placed on either side of the diaphragm for distribution evenly across the trace. Intriguing. So to summarize, a very easy to drive headphone. Works on any source amplifier and DAC mitigates a desk like this behind me most of the time, to be honest with you, which makes us audio enthusiasts feel very, very bad. Shall we get on to the sound now? Let's do an overall sound characteristics of these headphones. Starting with the stage. The stage, depending on the amplification quality, not power, but quality you use. For the first time in 8 years, the Sennheiser HD800S staging has been matched. Not beaten, but matched. The stage on this unit is freaking huge. Absolutely ridiculous. Not only that, due to the size of the drivers, which weigh only 75 grams, so that this headphone weighs only 430 grams in total. And I promise you, due to the weight distribution, this feels like a 200-gram headphone. It's absolutely nuts. You get enormous instrument size. But unlike the HD800S, where everything sounds huge, even when it comes right up close to your face, this has the ability to dynamically change instrument size according to its scale. So, superb. Fantastic. Imaging is absolutely stellar, akin to the unique melody MEZE. If you can get the spiral part of the trace exactly over your ear canal. Unfortunately, the sound you get is different on every part of this driver. Taking this off to show you. Every part of the driver where your ear can sit sounds different from everywhere else. It's rather annoying until muscle memory kicks in and you actually find out. Did you see how easy it was to take that pad off and on? Absolutely nuts. So it does sound quite different whether the pad is here, 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 here. So you really do need to dial it in. The first day you'll find yourself just constantly adjusting. Not only that, you actually do need to seal these pads on your head. You find that sometimes right here, you might get a little opening of the pad. So like this part of the pad will stay open a little bit, and that actually does affect the sound, especially in the bass region. So you need to have a perfect seal. And I find it takes about 5 or 6 minutes for the pads to truly seal around your head. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. Big stage, very good imaging. But the overall sound signature is very safe. You're not going to get any discordance, any harshness. Everything is just smooth. With some detail. But when we do the comparisons with other flagships, because we have to in this territory, you'll see where some of the problems might occur. But overall, every genre is usable on this headphone. It likes real instruments more. The tuning is more conducive to real instruments rather than EDM, though EDM does sound very good on it. Vocals have a fantastic presence, and the whole overall arching theme of the soundscape is comforting, relaxed. Sometimes it can be energetic, but not always, but always relaxed. Why do I have a problem with it? I'll bring my subjectivity points later on, but I have a problem with it. I love the Empyreans. I gave them a very good review. They were very unique. They were $3,000. Most people would say that their sound was not conducive to their price point. I disagreed because it brought so much more to the table. This is $1,000 more expensive. That's $4,000. That's a lot of pounds. That's a lot of money. They've done it with the build quality and comfort, but sound quality, that's divisive. For some people, I'm sure these are the world's best headphone because they do everything okay. They don't offend you. Something like a Stellia at $1,000 less has beautiful build quality, but technical performance, I think it outdoes this. And it hurt me to actually say that because I love MEZAUdio. They have a soft spot in my heart. I'm very, very connected to Romania. I lived there, so there's a touch of subjectivity in here. I want them to succeed. I really do. and this is an absolute outstanding achievement. But if we're specifically talking about sound now, because we've done the looks, we've done the overall comfort. Okay, we get it. It's beautiful, it's comfortable, and it comes in a beautiful case. It can be your one and only headphone if you don't care about certain things. So, with that, let's break down the frequency response. The bass region is elevated, but not elevated as much as the Empyreans were. I think they've dialed things down a little bit. It's a little bit more focused. It's a little bit more controlled. It's a little bit better technically, more resolving. I think the resolving factor of the headphones is apparent over the Empyreans. Instruments, if they're real instruments, make a note of that. They have a good articulation in the sub-bass region. Their separation is wonderful due to that imaging and that massive stage, so that they're very, very much apparent, prominent in the center of the stage, or left of the right of the stage. My right, your left, or behind, because this does encompass your head in a 360-degree field soundscape. So it's very definable. Good texture. Good, not outstanding. Good edge of instruments, not amazing. Attack is rather soft, chest hitting, rather than kicking you in the face the way a Stellia does. But it's got good attack, good nuances and texture, just not superb. Not $4,000 superb. The resonance, the decay is very nice and very pleasant. You will never get offended. And it can do a lot of genres very well. Pretty much all of them, actually. You will never feel as though you can't throw all the way from your 192 MP3s all the way to your DSD on this headphone. It will play nice with everything. It's the nice headphone of the lineup. It's the one that likes to get on with everyone else. Mid-bass is rather punchy, but in a soft manner again, yet it's not as bloated or bloomy as the Empyreans were. It is dialed down a bit, but the focus is superb, absolutely ridiculous. The way it images a kick drum within the stage is very nice. Its timbre is good for real instruments, yet it's not superb, because we are putting this up against some of the best in the industry. The upper bass region does help the treble region a tremendous amount, so drum skins sound wonderful. Because we depart from the switchback up top to the spiral bottom, which focuses on the treble and mid-range, I can hear a difference. A little subtle variation of tonal change. And I think the spiral part of the driver is more resolving and more defined and more texturally nuanced than the bass region. I think that part of the driver performs better. Because when we climb up to the mid-range is beautiful. It's lush, it's neutral, transparent to a point. It's not as resolving as some of the other headphones that we have reviewed here. Verite Closed, for example. Mad 24, no way. Not by a long shot, actually. I would put the price point sound quality of these at 2,000, no more than that. But you get so much more, that's the thing. So the mid-range is very articulated, it's very good for electric guitars, it's very good for cello, that part of the frequency response. It's excellent for electroacoustic music, but there is something about the tonal balance that does seem to add this ever so slight house sound tuning filter. Their lyric back there does not have this. The lyric is a very transparent departure from the MezeAudio house sound. I think it's more resolving than this, and it has more transparency and detail than this. But yet, this is comforting, this is beautiful, non-offensive. The upper mid-range, where most people have a lot of trouble with the lower treble region, is slightly recessed, not by much, but you do lose a little bit of definition, you do lose a little bit of presence. Yet, in the lower parts of the frequency response, everything is very focused and is very vivid and very, very apparent within the stage. Climbing up to the treble region, it's a bit laid back. It rises steadily. It's got good nuance. It's got good ability to resolve instruments, but real instruments. We will get on to how it reacts with electronic music in a minute, but for real instruments, it does articulate and actually resolve quite well. Not on the levels of $4,000 headphones, but very, very well. Here's the thing. This is the theme with these headphones. Everything is okay. Everything is non-offensive. So if you want to play all of your library, if you want to not be bothered by anything, it's not mediocrity. It's just good. But when you pay $4,000, you expect to have some je ne sais quoi. No idea what that means. Put it in the comment section what it means, but I've heard it a lot, so I'm going to use it. It does require something. I want to sit up and go, what? I don't think I ever had that with these. That moment when your mouth just hangs open and you go, what the bloody hell am I hearing? Even with that crazy imaging, I've heard that before with the unique melody MEZE at $1,600, so I wasn't really surprised. But I was never really surprised. Everything was pleasant. Going back to the frequency response, where were we? So treble region, yes, it does resolve very well. It's a very good all-arounder. I think if somebody just wants one headphone in a beautiful big case like this, and this is all they want, and they've got a nice DAP because there's a nice placement in the foam for an actual proper DAP like a Gold Touch or something, this could be your one and only system because that's all you need. You don't need a desktop setup like behind me. No, you just need a very good amp DAC and you're more than fine on the go and at your desk. So yes, this is the headphone for you. But for those of us who require a $4,000 investment, I think we might want a little bit more in the sound. Vocals are very, very good on this. They actually stand out very well. They come forward and back. Not only that, but they sound large, filled in from bass to treble, smooth, good articulation of the vocals, of the lips, good detail, yet not transparent enough. It doesn't feel like you can reach out and grab them because it's like a crystal clear window. It feels a bit like the window is still a tiny bit foggy. Better than the Empyrean, those were a bit foggy. This is still condensation inducing over the transparency of the driver, which annoys me a little bit. I want to be blown away, and I don't think I ever was. I was just happy. Putting these headphones on makes me happy. It makes me not worry. It makes me feel like everything is fine because I can throw anything at it. So the frequency response breakdown I gave was with these hybrid leather-wrapped Alcantara perforated pads. But what about their other pads? The Alcantara MEZE Empyrean pads. This is the old stock pads, the double thickness pads. Holy crap, they're comfortable. They're amazing. The sound becomes a lot warmer. The stage collapses. It's more comforting. It's very warm actually compared to this one. This one is a bit bright sounding compared to those. This really does lay back the treble region. And just mutes everything. I think on the Empyreans, it hid the haze on the driver a lot more, and it was the best pad with it. I think with the Elites, it's a bit of a detriment compared to these pads. These pads are wonderful, not only for the comfort and they're less warm, but the frequency response actually does a much better job than these. These are a bit more fun, warm, closed in, smaller stage, darker, much darker, much more laid back treble region than these. Very useful for metal and for rock, listening to bands like Catatonia, A Perfect Circle, Tesseract, Periphery, Animals as Leaders, Liquid Tension Experiment, etc. I love these pads. This is just beautiful for metal music. I find these, I mean, metal is not fatiguing on these, but these do a much better job. Definitely, I think using those pads is better for harsher music. Like I stated, the drivers on these is very smooth, but it actually helps with those a little bit more than the hybrid pads do. I alluded to, this is for both pads by the way, I alluded to electronic music not being very, well, not on the levels of real instruments on this headphone. For some reason, the timbre, the characteristics and the tonal balance is a little off for electronic music. I find I can hear the driver material, though that might sound absolutely ludicrous to some of you. It sounds plasticky. It sounds a little artificial, and I've discussed it with people in the CMA chat and they say yes, it's a possibility. I have noticed it with certain headphones too, where you can distinctly identify. It's not that the tonal balance changes, it's not that the frequency response changes, it's that you can hear what driver is creating those sounds. And it's a bit weird, I don't like it. You know how headphones sometimes can sound boxy, or speakers can sound like it's resonated incorrectly because the dampening is not done properly? This one, it feels as though I can hear the driver material and it distracts me for things like Infected Mushroom and stuff. The performance is great, bass impact is amazing, imaging is wonderful, and the openness of the stage is absolutely fantastic. But that lack of a true high-end resolution the way you'd get from like a Stellia distracts me. I can't unhear it. Throwing something like the Fostex 909 on the or behind me using 22.5 volts because we can adjust the voltage on the Hypsos power supply. Much higher resolution than these. Verite closed. No such problem. I think that's using a polyethylene naphthalate driver. And the driver, I believe, is vapor treated with 20% beryllium, and you don't get such characteristics. The timbre is wonderful on those headphones. But on this, no, I can hear it. Comparing this with the Stellias, the drivers of the Stellias is so resolving and so transparent. I think it outdoes this by a large amount, not just a little bit. The Diana V2 timbre and tonal balance was the reason why I bought those headphones. I think it's better than this. This beats it for imaging, this beats it for staging, this beats it for bass. But for timbre and tonal balance, those do a better job. Lyrique, its own closed back counterpart at half the price, out-resolves it and out-details it. But this is comforting. And with these pads, it's even more comforting. It feels as though you want some holics, or whatever the hell they call it, and a blanket, and you've got a cough, and it's just hugging you. It's the hug of a lovable parent, or a beautiful girlfriend, or a boyfriend, or a cuddle from your dog, whatever's your preference. That's what it feels like. You feel comforted, and taking it off your head, you feel annoyed. So that's the resolving problem. But how is it technically at demonstrating a difficult track throw in my most complicated song on here, Hans Zimmer's live suite of the Pirates of the Caribbean two-parter. There are 35 instruments on stage and it articulated every single one of them perfectly. Definitely 8.75 out of 10. It was remarkably good. Yet, because of the lack of transparency, I didn't feel like I could see each individual instrument as I do with Sesvara's. But placement, positioning, and presence was wonderful. So it does work technically. Its technical ability is there. Something like an LCD XC fell apart. It could not handle it. A Sesvara resolves it 10 out of 10 using proper equipment. So there is that. It has got some technical ability. Okay, so who is this for? I think if you don't care about the last 5%, 10%, this is for you. I think if you just want one headphone, just one that does it all, that is beautiful, that is carryable, that is something that you will want to pass down due to this beautiful design, I think this is for you. I think if you're not worried about penny pinching, I think if you're not worried about paying $4,000 for a headphone and you know you can reach for another one, but you will just want one that does everything without any headache, I think this is for you. Those people who want the last dregs of performance, the Utopia people, the 1266 people, that want to put a little bit of effort in because they think it's worth it. They want to be tied to a desk. This headphone is not for you. Do I think it's worth $4,000? Well, worth is very subjective. Sonically, I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. But overall, as a whole package, from sound to design to comfort, I think it is. For somebody who just wants one headphone, if I just wanted this by itself, I think I could deal with it. The fact that I have pretty much some of the best in the industry, probably all of them actually at this point, for review, and as the channel's own headphones, this doesn't cut it. Not for me. No. Because it's $4,000, you can buy a used Sesvara for $3,600, $3,500, I've even seen some as low as $3,300. Buy and top in a 90 with it. I ran my Sesvaras on that for 6 months before the benchmark AHB2, the ore stack and everything else. And it was great. And it destroys this for sound quality, even on a top in A90. Can't take it around with you. You'll be tied to a desk. You don't get this beautiful design, but you get the sound. So you choose what is important to you. The innovation behind these headphones is great. That can't be denied. I love these headphones, but I can't keep them. Not even in the lineup for the channel. $4,000, we have the LCD5 coming in, we have the Stealths coming in, we have the final Audio 8000 Pro coming in, and I think they will outperform this. But this will be here. I will do a flagship open back headphone shootout for you guys. I'm currently in the process of shooting a closed back flagship shootout for you guys, like I did with a lower tier flagship headphones shootout for you guys, like I did with the IEM flagship shootout for you guys. There will be a shootout for every spectrum of money and performance on this channel. I just need a little time to get them to you, but keep checking. Press the notification icon, press the bell thingy so that you will be alerted when these go live. How many tigers do I give this? For build quality, 5 tigers out of 5, it's the best in the industry. For looks, I give it 5 tigers out of 5, it's the best in the industry. For overall use as a one headphone usability, for every genre, 5 tigers out of 5. But for sound, compared to its competitors, 3 tigers out of 5. So overall, I would give these 4 tigers out of 5. MEZAUdio, you improved on the Empyrean. but you increased the price, which I didn't think you should. I would like to take a moment to thank Mimic for sending this unit in for review again. It's very, very much appreciated. And I would like to extend a massive thank you to you Patreon members. Your money goes towards paying our camera person, our editor, and shipping. And for that, you get my eternal gratitude, access to the private Telegram chat, access to me on a daily basis, and early reviews before anyone else. So if that seems like something you might want to participate in, all the information will be down below. I am planning to shoot 20 reviews in the next 2 weeks so that Patreon can be ahead of YouTube, so that if you're interested in all of these insane equipment, you will have easy access to it immediately. Because obviously we can't release a video every single day, it's time consuming and it's just not possible. So those are the places where it will reside, but obviously you don't have to. But if you do, it will be there. And for those of you who can't, your viewing is more than enough. Your support has been more than enough. Your comments below has been more than enough. Your participation in our chats has been more than enough. And I thank you personally. It's an interesting headphone. It's a beautiful headphone. It's a comforting headphone. I don't think it's a $4,000 headphone. I will see you next time. I am Koji CO. Peace.